The 610th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their Pick 8. Sign up today with promo code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer of up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Build your own betting model using the AI betting engine. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hi-ho, degenerados, and welcome to episode 610 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and Sports Gambling. Oh boy, good start. Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Who should this one go out to? Let me see.
It should go out to all the people who subscribe to us on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, click the little box below my face and subscribe. Even if you don't want notifications, you can turn those off. It will make no difference to your life. And when we tell you this at the beginning of the episode, our subscribers go up infinitely. And we thank you all for doing that. Please subscribe to the show.
Especially to Gorilla2318, who put your picks suck. LOL. I'm assuming he spelled your incorrectly, and it was on the event that Gumby was like
3 units up.
3 units up. So yes,
yeah.
hit
a plus 410 underdog. Yeah, no.
Your grammar sucks, my friend. And also Scott Moe, who head slapped that you picked underdogs. Yeah, okay. They don't like it when
a plus 410 underdogs. Man.
Yeah, they don't like it when you pick them. They don't like it when you don't pick them. That means we've made it, baby. People are we're getting all the people coming.
We love all of you guys. We love
you all. It's all with love. I am Jeff. What's my new name? Oh yeah, the King of Kung Fu, Jeff Fox. Maybe we'll talk more about why that's my name on Wednesday when we jump into the UFC once more. But I am here not talking about the UFC. We're talking about Cage Warriors 174, a 20-fight card. We're gonna do all 20 fights for you in the full here. So this will be our first 2.5-hour episode. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. The person helping me breaking down all 20 fights is the one and only Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Hello.
Would this be our first 2.5-hour episode? The early ones.
We used to have some longer ones, yeah.
The early
hour
ones,
and a half, I think we might have gone.
The early ones took some time before we started breaking them up into digestible chunks for you guys, and we sort of hit our stride. But I'm kind of excited about this fight card. There are a couple of weird fights on this. The stylistically, they got this one night bantamweight tournament. It's got a snappy name too. I got to look it up again.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not as good as Tip Sport Game Changer, but it's
no.
up there. It's got they randomly drew matches live, which I really appreciate. Take note, PFL. And I think they wound up with like the most intriguing stylistic fights they could possibly get, which I'm really excited about.
Prize Fighter is the name of the tournament.
Prize Fighter. Yeah.
Which I'm guessing that we're talking brand names for Prize Fighter, just like Tip Sport is a brand name.
I don't actually know the answer to that question.
No?
I just remember seeing it and being like, that's a thing an MMA organization would name a tournament.
Yeah, exactly. What is the tournament for other than glory?
Do they
get a title fight? Do they get a big ceremonial check at the end?
I think maybe a title fight, but let me get back to you on that. We'll put the intern on it while you dabble in some of your ad reads and whatnot, and we'll figure it out.
All right, yeah, at least a big ceremonial check with a couple of ring girls. At least they have to give that. So we got the 2 semifinals, and then what is the main event going to be, or the co-main event going to be? The finals of the tournament, I assume.
So there are only 2 semifinals. So when they decided to make this tournament, they had 6 fighters for it. They pulled lots, basically made 2 semifinals, and 2 fighters randomly got the short stick and wound up being the alternate fight, which just happened to be both the Italian fellas, which kind of is a giant slap in the face. They will be fighting in the finals later that night. It is a one-night single elimination tournament with a $50,000 cash prize for the winner, and the winner will be named the number 1 contender of the bantamweight division.
Cool. This is like old school MMA, right?
I love it.
Tournament. Yeah, exactly.
I love the way that they do it, and Invicta does it, and does it with like enough stakes to it, but not like real big stakes. Because I sort of resent putting champions in tournaments and not, just giving them the best fighter next and just being like, oh, it's up to chance. Sometimes those Bellator tournaments, we wind up with a semifinal with like one of the champs in and like a replacement fighter they found somewhere who clearly doesn't deserve a title fight.
Yeah. And if all this isn't enough to sell you on this episode, we have fighters on the card named Riri, Mush. We have a fighter named Mush. Yeah, we got some good Gur, G-E-R, like the sound Gur. Yeah, we got some good names here. So anyhow, we'll jump into it after I tell you about another man with a great name, Munaf, the Machine, Manje, and Chris. No last name needed. They are getting you ready for the NFL season on the Propcast. They got episodes dedicated to season-long props and the awards market. Plus, check out CJ Sullivan and his road to $10 million on Bottom Line Bombs. You tune him in wherever you get your podcast or the SGPN app. And of course, on the YouTube, after you finish subscribing to our channel, you can go subscribe to theirs. But ours first, obviously. Okay, let's jump into this here event now, shall we? Like I said, 20 fights. I was joking. We're not doing all 20, but we probably will have more than enough to choose from for our lightning round at the very end. So make sure you stick around to the end. We'll get you some bonus picks. So as per usual, we're going to give you in-depth picks for 5 fights, and then anything else interest Gumby will be in the lightning round, which a fan of ours gave us the idea, which we appreciate. If you want to give us ideas for content, please, by all means. All right, Cage Warriors 174 is the name of the event. It's going down in London, England. Perhaps you've heard of it. July the 20th. That would be Saturday as well. This one's going down 12 p.m. Eastern. So you're going to have this multiple screens here. We got Octagon that we covered yesterday, and we've got Cage Warriors going down at the same time. So Octagon's a summer party as well, so you don't want to miss that one either. So this is going down in the Indigo at the O2 Arena in London, England. 20 fights, as I said. We'll give you the 5 that tickle Gumby's fancy the most, and then we'll kind of a British expression for a British episode here. First one is a name you may be familiar with. That would be Jordan Vucenic. Is he the most tattooed man in MMA? I know that's a bold statement because there's a lot of competition, but he's got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, at least it's a good look. He's not got the like weird sword chest that Lesnar had, or the Muhammad Ali looking Johnny Cash that Alan Belcher had.
That's true. So Jordan Vucenic, he is from Jolly Old England. He's against Adrian Kępa. He is from Poland. An easy Polish name for me, Gumby. I got off the hook here easy. This is not a tournament fight or tryout fight or any of that stuff. This is for what weight class is this? Friggin'
it says 100. It says 159 catch weight. I think that's
fantastic.
I think that's basically like 160 because you get the 1 pound allotment.
Right,
here. So it seems like they didn't want to make it all the way to 55, and it kind of came together kind of late. So that makes sense.
All right, so that's what because Vucenic is normally a featherweight and Kępa is normally a lightweight. So they're kind of. I guess they're going above, actually. Never mind. Forget what I just said there. We have no odds for this, right? I have not found odds, and I assume you haven't either. Okay. We'll break it down. Gumby will give you his estimate. Kępa is the first one we're going to break down. He is 12-8, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 6 times. This is his Cage Warriors debut. They're throwing him into the fire right off the bat here. He's won 4 of his last 5, including his last fight via TKO. Used to fight at featherweight and welterweight. 2013 pro MMA debut, 0-1 as a pro boxer. Now he's fighting at 159 pounds. Vucenic, the epidemic, 12-2, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions, never been finished in a fight, 8-1 in Cage Warriors. He used to be the champion of 145 pounds for the Cage Warriors. He's won 3 straight and 10 of 11. 4 straight wins of his have come via submission. 7 years younger than Kępa, 3 inches taller, 4 inches of reach. I assume he's going to be a big favorite here.
Yeah, actually, as I was talking to you, and I was like, hey, there's no odds for this. I was like, I haven't checked since this morning. There are odds for this now, courtesy of the fine people at Bet Online. And I will also tell you the way that I had lined it, because I got it written here on my sheet. So originally I had written Jordan Vucenic minus 500. It appears he's posted even higher than that. Currently, he's negative 800 on Bet Online. That puts a tad bit of a wrinkle in the value that I thought he had, because at negative 500, he seemed like somebody who who I'd probably try to sneak in some parlays here. Because as you mentioned, Kępa has been submitted like a billion times in his career. And Vucenic is a guy who is just absolutely suffocating on the ground. I don't know how this guy's not in the UFC already. I mean, he's got a win over Paul Hughes, who everybody was talking about.
Look at his, and he's got a win over. Sorry to interrupt. Another guy in the UFC too. I shouldn't have interrupted if I don't have the French man.
Marcus Charrier.
Yes, yeah, he beat him too. So he's fighting the competition here,
and look, the way he wins is devastating because, first of all, as a boxer, like underrated as a boxer, like he throws really hard punches. He comes forward at a big rate because it sets up his takedowns well, and he switches stances, and he's, I want to say, as good at southpaw as he is in an orthodox stance. And that's pretty hard to do when you're a guy who's a better grappler than you are a boxer, to say that like he's also a good boxer in both stances. Like the UFC needs this guy over here. He's entertaining as all hell. He's a great submission specialist, and he's going to be up against the guy who gives up a bunch of submissions. So it's a bummer to see him at -800, but I still think he's the play here.
Yeah. All right. I've got all the odds now. So don't look at them if you haven't already, Gamble. Have you looked at them already?
I haven't
make
actually.
You guess?
I haven't actually. So now that I opened it up and gave you Vucenic's, I will then try to guess the rest of them, and you can give me the
fantastic.
Whether
I'll end up telling you. You know how it goes.
I do.
Working them out because I suck. Period. All right, Giordano and Lööf is what we're doing next. Topology.
Giordano's not fighting Lööf. Giordano's fighting Martignoni.
He's fighting Martignoni. So Alessandro Giordano from Italy versus Michele Martignoni from Italy as well. So they're making both the Italians fight each other, and this is a. You said this is a. Sorry, you didn't get in the tournament, but if someone gets hurt, you can alternate belt is what we call it. Is what I was trying to spit up, but yeah, and then they make the Italians fight each other too. Are they teammates? Do you know, or
I don't think so. No, there's actually a lot of gyms in Italy, believe it or not.
Cool. All right, we'll tell you about Giordano first. 7-3 with 5 knockouts. He's never been finished in any fight. 1-2 in Cage Warriors. So he's won 1 of his last 3 and 6 of his last 8. That sounds better. 1 of his last would be KO. He's fought at featherweight, a year younger than Martignoni, +2 for it. See, I almost did it. I almost said the whole line. He's the favorite, Gumby. Martignoni, the Italian Thunder. 9-2 with 2 no contests, 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been submitted 1 time. 4-2 with 1 no contest in Cage Warriors. Used to be the champion in Cage Warriors. 3 of his last 4 have been wins, including his last one being a TKO. Was a regional champion, 1-0 Bellator. Missed weight for that Bellator fight, an inch taller than Giordano. I don't know what the odds are. I'm not going to say it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm telling you, written right next to me right now, -275 on Martignoni.
Yep, -300. So there you go.
300. Okay, so again, I undershot it again for the second one, although this one by significantly less than I undershot Vucenic on. But I'm taking Martignoni. I'm going to go with the 2 big favorites right out the gate here. The big one for me is just the defensive striking on Martignoni. Like if you watch these two, the best thing Giordano does on the feet is he's one of those guys who he throws out his jab, but he doesn't recoil it. He just like leaves it in people's face, which helps him find the range. It also helps obscure his opponent's defense. But Martignoni is a guy who slips jabs really well. So like if he's a guy who's already slipping the jab, you can leave that jab out there, but that's just going to open you up to the counters even worse. I think both of these guys I think they're actually lucky they drew each other in this fight. Now, granted, they're not lucky that they didn't wind up in the actual tournament, but they're lucky that they drew each other because at the end of the day, I think both of these guys have a wrestling deficiency that would have put them in real trouble. Now, Martignoni, a little bit better at dropping the hips and sprawling out than Giordano is, which also maybe winds up being a part of this game too, is that like, I think he's going to slip that jab and I think he's going to hurt Giordano when Giordano tries to do that thing where he leaves the jab out and backs it up with a 2. But like, also, like, if he wanted to wrestle, like, I think he's the better wrestler in this fight. Now, I do expect it to stay on the feet, but, you know, he's going to have some clinch advantages. He's probably going to throw the knees in the clinch. If he wants to put him back up against the cage because things aren't going well, he can do that too. I think there's a lot of avenues for Martignoni. Not necessarily thrilled by -300. Again, I had it even lower than that, and I probably wasn't even thrilled with the one that I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I'm going to go Martignoni here.
All right. Fantastic. All right. Before we move on, this actually just came across my desk. I got to let you guys know that the Sports Gambling Podcast is getting you ready for college football with their conference previews. Tune in wherever you get your podcasts or the SGPN app, and of course on YouTube. And of course, we're sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring us. Pick 8 is now live over there. You can create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex your entries. So you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. The best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount. You can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Gumby, do you have a pick, maybe a MLB All-Star Game pick?
Yeah, let's take Paul Skeens higher than on his strikeouts. He's getting the start for the National League, which you got to really respect here. And then in addition to that, too, some of those guys at the top of the NL order are big strikeout guys. So I think he's gonna nab a couple.
I'm hoping he isn't Dwight Gooden on us, Gumby, and burn out. Hopefully he stays good. Because exciting young talent there. Don't miss your chance to try out Pick 8 before it's gone. Sign up with our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit. Offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And of course, Circus Sports is back with Circus Survivor and Circuit Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. And of course, circuit contests have no rake. Circuit Millions, you can pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and compete for $6 million or survive the NFL Gauntlet to claim the $10 million prize. Sign up in person at Circuit Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. Don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas before football. Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go out, hang with Ryan and Sean, our bosses, and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through the 24th. Tell them Gumby and Shocks sent you. Maybe we'll get a referral bump back. Maybe they'll give us a big fat raise. You never know. All right, Gumby's going to give you another big fat pick that is going to make your bank account swell. How's that? This is the one with Lööf. I want to talk about Lööf before. This is our semifinals of our one night tournament. Aidan Stefan. He is from Scotland, as was my grandmother. And he is fighting Alexander Lööf. He's not from Scotland. He's from the Nordic region. He's from Sweden. So 3 5-minute rounds in this tournament. I take the finals are 3 rounds too. They're doing 6 rounds possibly.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, I think that's the most commissions will let you do it a night.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's break down this fight for you. Hopefully without spitting out the odds for you. So about Lööf first. He's the first one on my spreadsheet here. He's 6-1 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. 0-1 in cage warriors. He did win his last fight. He used to fight at featherweight, and now he is fighting at lightweight for this here tournament. What else can I tell you about Lööf? 6 years younger than Stefan, minus 130. See, I did it. Even though I'm not going to do it, I do it.
Lööf is the one who's really into the hives too. That's another thing you can tell people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's from that area, so it makes sense. The phenomenal Steven is 10-4, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 6-3 in cage warriors. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 4. Has not lost since March 2021. Used to fight at featherweight as well, an inch taller than Lööf. I'm not going to tell you his odds though.
I mean, I can extrapolate them based on the fact that you said negative 130 on Lööf.
I didn't say that.
It's an offshore book. It's right when they post. You're probably looking at 30 to 35 points of juice. So I'm going to say plus 100, minus 105 on Stefan.
Plus 100. You're right.
Yeah, plus 100. Yeah, there's usually about that much on close fights. I did have him originally pegged at plus 125. Okay. I thought he was going to be a little bit of a favorite or a little bit of an underdog in not quite this close, but I'm still going to go with Aidan Stephen. And here's the thing in this fight. This is such a fun style clash because Alexander Lööf, dude, this dude only wants to brawl. That's all this dude wants in the whole world. And it's kind of funny because I'm picking a guy who he's fighting who's super hittable. Aidan Stephen is really hittable. But with that being said, a lot of times he walks through 1 or 2 of those hits. He gets a body lock. And once he's on you, you're screwed. This guy's jiu-jitsu is sick. I've picked against him a couple of times being like, he can't get that guy down or he can't get this guy down. He's going to get punched right in the mouth. And then you know what? He got punched right in the mouth and it didn't matter. because he ran right through it, got a body lock, hit an inside or an outside trim. And then once he's on you, man, like he does it. He's like glue. He rotates between positions exceptionally well. He does a really low base when he grapples, which makes it really hard for the person on the bottom to dictate the position. But even then, he's like, if somebody makes a movement, he's light enough that he rotates to the right position, sets up submissions. Man, I think this guy is the real deal on the mat. I think he's a tough out for anybody in this kind of tournament. And like, obviously, I could look real dumb early on and Lööf could land the bomb. But I don't know. I just have faith now that Steffen walks through a couple of those shots, gets in on a takedown, and ends this thing on the mat. So give me Aidan Steffen. Again, had him originally pegged at a little bit higher of a dog, but I'll take the plus 100 here.
Jeff's the big dummy, not you. That's been established. You can't even remember not to say the odds.
You're really bad at not saying the odds, and I love it.
You're not going to be dumb.
It never is dull for me, ever once.
I know. You always get a chuckle. You always get a chuckle. All right, let's do the other half of this here bracket now, shall we? That would be the other quadrant with Qadrian in it. Shirzad. Qadrian. Is it Qadrian? Is that right?
Qadrian, yeah.
Shirzad.
I think it's from Qadrian.
Qadrian. Yes, that would make sense. He's from Iran. I shouldn't get those two mistaken, should I? He's from Iran. Is that right? Or is he from Iraq? The other ear.
I'm gonna let you.
He's from Iran, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a lot of Iranian fighters recently, right? We just covered a bunch for the PFL MENA. He's fighting Weslley Maia. He is from Brazil, 3 5-minute rounds. This is bantamweight. Sorry, I was saying the other one was lightweight. The lightweight tournament is an octagon. The other fight was at bantamweight as well. And Steffen and Lööf have both fought at featherweight and lightweight. So they fought up. They're going way down. And then this one is bantamweight as well. Imagine that. Let's tell you about Maia first. Magic Weslley Maia, 9-5, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 3-3 in cage warriors. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 8. He's fed at flyweight, 1-0 in PFL, an inch of height. There, I did that one. Okay. The lion, the Iranian lion, we'll call him, but the lion, what did we say it was? Qadrian?
I think it's Qadrian. Yeah.
Qadrian, 5-1. 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, never been finishing a fight. 2-1 in cage warriors. He's won 2 straight, both via finish. Last loss was in July of 2023 to Magic Maia. Yes, This is a rematch. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky with it. It's been a while. I haven't said that for an episode or two. He's 5 years younger than Maia. All right. Where do you have this one pegged?
So I originally had it pegged. So I've been overshooting a lot of the size of the dogs, but I originally had it pegged as Qadrian at plus 150. Where are we at?
Minus 105. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. That means Maia like negative 135, negative 140.
25.
Ooh, 25. Okay, less juice on this one. I'm still gonna take Qadrian here. Not as pretty of a dog pick here. I'm probably staying off that until the money comes in on Maia a little bit, and I think the money will come in because it's a rematch. But if you watch that fight, I really do like the positional jiu-jitsu of Qadrian, and I don't think Weslley Maia is like overwhelmingly better on the feet enough that he's one of those people who's like gonna land 1 minute of punches and then be on his back for 4 minutes, and then you're gonna be like, well, you got to give it to him because he did more damage, because everybody loves that narrative nowadays. But like Qadrian, I think, has the better wrestling. I think he has the better positional jiu-jitsu. I think as long as this match is grappling at all, I think he will wind up being in some of the better positions. And I did give up some positions to Maia in their last fight, and I think between that and getting outstruck a little bit, that was enough for him to lose that fight. But I will also say, I think he's looked a lot better in the wrestling department since then. Like, I think he's starting to put things together quite a bit better since then. So I like Qadrian in this fight. I liked him a lot better thinking he would be a big dog because it's a rematch at a fight he's lost. So I would say if you are with me here and you think that like wrestling game will play up and he's looked a little better as of late, just wait. The money usually comes in on a favorite, or like a favorite who won the first fight anyway. That's a play people like anyway. So let that number climb and then get in on Qadrian.
Of course they're with you, Gumby. How could they not be with you?
They could.
It'd be foolish. It'd be foolish not to be with you.
They could not be. Some of the people in the comments on YouTube aren't.
That's fine. They technically are losers because they are losing their picks then, because you always hit, always. Even when you don't hit, you at least make money. All right, let's tell you about Rhythm before we give you our main event. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter, data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data to help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Rhythm's productions have been red hot for WNBA and golf. You can check it all out with a 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpockets.com/RITHMM. Right, actually, maybe before we get to the main event, put you on the spot. So you got Qadrian and Stefan in your finals. What do you think the odds would be on that fight, and who's going to win?
So I don't know if they'll post. It'd be great if they did. I do think they're going to be early enough in the. I do think they're going to be early enough in the fight card that they'll, because they're going to give them some time to recover and stuff, that they should. If that does happen, I think Stefan has got to be a sizable favorite there. Just because he fought probably the better striker here in Lööf, and if he had gotten through that looks good. And then B, just the style of fight that I think Qadrian wants, which is kind of a grinding sort of fight. I don't think he wins that positionally against Steven very often. So I guess my prediction to win the tournament is Aidan Steven.
All right, there you go. Aidan Steven, even Steven should actually be the nickname. Or it's probably Stefan, though, so that wouldn't make sense. But anyhow, let's go to our main event. Cage Wars Flyweight Championship. Shajidul Hake. Is that right?
No, Hake is not fighting. I've told you this time and time again.
You hear how mad he is? Wow. Nicolas Leblond is fighting versus Amir Malekpour. And this is for a is this a vacant or the interim?
I guess they're going to do interim because Hake is the champ. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Interim title fight. Hake got hurt.
Yeah. He had to pull out with an injury.
Okay. So Leblond versus Malekpour. Malekpour is from Sweden. Leblond is from France. So 5-minute rounds. Interim flyweight championship. And we will tell you about it right about now. Tell you about Malekpour first. 7-2 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. Taking this fight on short notice. How long's it been? Do you remember?
Hake backed out maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay. There you go. Less than a month. So he's won 3 straight fights. 3-0 on Cage Warriors. So he's won 3 straight, and he's gone 5-0 with 1 no contest over his last 6. He's fought at bantamweight and at featherweight, an inch of height. Leblond is 10-4, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions, never been finished in a fight. 4-2 in Cage Warriors. He's won 4 straight and 5 of 6. All 5 of those wins have come via finish. He's fought at bantamweight, 2013 pro MMA debut, 5 years younger than Malekpour.
So I originally, I've been underselling my favorites and overselling my dogs here. But I originally had LeBlanc -225.
-125.
Ooh. In that case, LeBlanc is a really good value. Yep. Really? They've got that one.
Yeah.
All right. So that one perplexes me for a couple of reasons. Number one, you watch Malekpour's most recent fight where he won a majority decision. He fought Tom Creasy? Tom Creasy.
A Creasy brother.
He fought one of the Creasys.
Tom.
I was right the first time. He fought Tom Creasy. Tom Creasy got him down a couple of times. And with the double leg that LeBlond brings sometimes, and he blasts through that thing. He's really good at not just getting to the legs and like getting under the hips, but he's one of those guys who like runs through his takedowns really well, which I really appreciate. And with Malekpour having been taken down by Creasy a couple of times, that's a really bad sign. And then when you add into it too, like Malekpour did sweep him once, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm underestimating how good he is on the ground, but then just had no control time. And I think LeBlond is just better than Tom Creasy in a lot of those positions. And Malekpour had enough trouble, to the point where it was only a majority decision. And so I think LeBlond is going to dominate the grappling here. If this does stay on the feet, I'm kind of having trouble deciding, because I do think Malekpour is maybe a little faster, but I do think positionally, in terms of his like footwork and the way that he backs up, I think that's probably a problem for him here. But at the end of the day, I think LeBlond is going to score enough takedowns that we don't really have to worry about the striking. So give me Nicolas LeBlond.
And you hear that? Gumby likes the line, so get on it. If Gumby hasn't already steamed it up before this episode drops, get on there and you grab Leblond. All right, let's recap, and then Gumby will give you picks for the other 15 fights. Leblond, Qadrian, Stefan, Martignoni, Vucenic. All right, Gumby. Lightning round, crash, bang, boom, zap. What you got?
All right, I got 4 here. So you do you have the odds open for me so I can tell you
that's right.
whether or not I actually like these or not. So I'll start with 3 or 4. I have 4 picks here. I'll just give you all 4 of them. If you can get any of them near even money, cool. If any of them happen to be dogs, also kind of cool. I can't imagine Riri Hudson's a dog, right? She's good.
Let's see. Riri is minus 500. So yeah, you're correct. She's not a dog.
I don't worry about that one.
Okay.
Ignore what I said there. Not that I think a loss.
It's fun to say Riri Hudson though. So that's
in like they're setting her up with a fight to win right out the gate, and she's clearly a prospect they like. But negative 500 on somebody who has no professional record, maybe stay away. Nick Bagley against one of the Shelley brothers. Is he
just
a dog?
one of them? They're not going to switch. Nick Bagley's minus 205, so you're striking out here.
Parlay fuel there. Maybe Nick Bagley. Another one I like is the one fighting Thomas Paul. Ahadi.
Let me see. He's fighting Thomas Paul.
The one who was on
Milad Ahadi, minus 175.
Okay, that one I like a little bit better. And then the last one is Rafael Aronov. That's the other Aronov brother.
He's plus 155. So break down that one.
Okay, so he's an Aronov. You remember his brother on Contender Series, the one who stuck his arm back into a armbar?
Eli
Aronov. Yeah. This is Eli Aronov's brother, Rafael, and like. I don't think he's got quite the wrestling Ellie does, but for fighting like a low-level Cage Warriors fight, I think he's got everything he should need there. And I also think he's a touch better than his brother on the feet. He seems to be less, how his brother like doesn't really have very much in terms of reach. Like he's got those little stocky arms. Like Rafael seems to be shaped better for fighting in the division he's in, and also has a little bit of the wrestling, but a touch better of the striking. So yeah, like I think that's a fun dog play. I don't mind the number on Ahadi. Bagley's probably parlay fuel. I mean, Riri Hudson, do with that what you will. She's probably going to win that fight, but negative 500 doesn't do much for me.
All right, there you go. And enjoy the other fights. I'm sure you DeGens will bet on the other fights anyway. I'm sure you can get a pick out of Gumby if you hit him up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, as people like to do. We are on Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vrida, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. I'm on Instagram at Jeff Fox Writer as well. I'm on my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Get in there, get a subscription, and enter my free UFC Pick'em contest, which is running for this weekend's UFC Fight Night. Listen to Gumby's Top Turtle MMA podcast. He has someone is he fighting this week?
Steve Garcia. Yeah, Mean Machine's fighting this weekend at UFC Vegas 94. And then we're also talking to Austin Bashi, who is going to be on Contender Series.
There you go. So that's the Top Turtle MMA podcast. And of course, YouTube, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate everyone who has and who like to comment on there and watch our videos. And of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. One more regional event to go. That will be tomorrow, and that will be KSW. In the meantime, Gumby will bid you farewell. It's his turn.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Freeland. He's the epidemic Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.